Greetings, welcome back to another episode of 1320 Time Stream. Okay, we're the electric mirror today, chilling out on the warrior wave spell. Let's get into some of those magic details. Electric mirror for you. And also our breath pertaining to today's energies. We're going to be in our right hip today and also our left next to baby toe. Right hip next to left baby toe. Out breath. Begin. Okay, here we go. All right. That was a good little breath. Let's get into it. So here we're identifying the service that we're taking. 2 days ago at the beginning of the wave spell on the magnetic warrior, we identified our purpose. Yesterday during the lunar earth, we were identifying our challenges, what challenges would arise. And as we went into that, we talked about the kind of blueprint or the paradigm, how it was all about interfacing a new paradigm, and how that kind of was appropriately to come directly after the warrior, because the warrior is like, okay, like the purpose of the warrior is this energy that's like probing something. It's penetrating an unknown. And within that unknown is in fact a paradigm. So as it becomes the known, that paradigm becomes available. And so today we're beginning to become in service to that paradigm, and that paradigm is represented through our reflections. Do we have reflections on this paradigm? We're activating these reflections. And so here's the mirror, which in many ways is another aspect of the mind, that the aspect of the warrior, the aspect of the earth as well, can reflect, including kind of like everything since the eagle. Like even like if you really think back all the way down to the human is where we really start to touch on the mind. And to be honest, it's actually really the monkey. The monkey, like right after the dog, we're still really speaking about that, just emotional, empathic consciousness. And the mind begins to start coming in at the monkey, but we're still very emotional, playful. And then, going further into the human, which is more about identity, mind. And then we're going through an evolution, kind of like an initiation to the wizard, which is crystallizing one's mind. And then going into the eagle, which is kind of like the higher mind. And then that goes into the warrior, which is the like, how would you say that? I almost want to say the defined mind. It's like the mind starts to become a terrain unto itself. And that is where I find that these the warrior, the earth, the mirror, and the storm and the sun, I find are all mental/spiritual qualities, which you'd also say that they're architectural qualities. Is that one aspect is the mind, but with a lot of people, the mind is really defined by thinking. And so the process of thinking actually is just one of the like smaller aspects of the mind. And one could say that the mind is actually an interdimensional architectural space. And so when we get into the mirror, it's like the earth is the blueprint of that architecture, of that paradigm, and the mirror is the reflective capacity of the properties and the existentialisms of that paradigm and how they're going to show up kind of in your life. And so here today we're activating those reflections. We're creating a bond with others, as well as creating a bond with the aspects of the paradigm. On a completely different note, kind of outside of just that new paradigm, even though nothing's really outside of, the idea of creating a bond or a connection with others also fulfills the dynamic connection of those different paradigms as they begin to merge with one another, and begins to create that larger sense of reflection as you're connecting and reflecting with one another, things of this nature. Yeah, I like it. I like it. And I can kind of see where this is going, like as we come to the storm and then go to the sun. It's like this paradigm is going towards enlightenment, which is, it's very similar to the crystal tone, where it's like a lot of the gravity, a lot of the different parts of it are falling away, and there's like a very simple, very specific kind of product that is being tailored here in a way, and that's what the architecture has to do with. And so it's almost like saying the mirror, we're outside the architecture, while with the earth we're inside the architecture. Is, you could say that the earth level of consciousness, when we're taking a look at human behavior, we could say that, okay, we could abstractly see the human being as DNA, or different like potential life permutations of like how different forms of life are built or whatnot, as kind of like a complex hyperdimensional science. And then the external aspect of that would be like watching a human move and do what they do and having an interaction with them. And so it's not that the human moving and doing what they do is the aspect that we're talking about, but it is the reflective countenance that is activated through interfacing the motion of that geometry embodied within life. And that is its reflection. So I'm going to leave us there on our wave spell part, and stay tuned for our affirmation.